So, for the teacher that's going to be listening to this, I'm going to do a talk with a friend that I met in Red Deer at the time, and we're going to talk about gender identity in schools. So, would you mind telling me how your school's approach to gender identity affected you personally or someone, in your environment, someone that you know?
Yeah. So one of my elementary school and middle school best friend, is a trans guy, and he was still presenting like feminine up until like um our freshman year of high school. And then after freshman year of high school, he left and then came back after starting testosterone and like a name change and stuff. And the school seemed to treat him, basically just like a new student. And yeah, it seemed to go pretty seamless, and it didn't seem like people really gave him much trouble. A lot of people didn't really seem to like even know that he was trans in the first place. So yeah,
Yeah,
it seems like our school was pretty relaxed about it.
that's really good, right? Because then the next question that I was going to ask you is like, do you feel that your school's environment is inclusive and supportive of students with, the diverse gender identities? And now I know it's like pretty much yes, right?
Yeah, I
So,
think yeah, mine was.
yeah, and that's, it's not for the case for every school. So,
Yeah,
I'm glad for that student that, because the problem is that most of the time they get like mental health issues and stuff because, they face problems in schools. Apparently for that person it
yeah,
wasn't the case, which is amazing.
yeah. It was really good, and I think he was fortunate that I think his strategy of like going to a different school for a while, or maybe he was homeschooled for a bit, I don't know, and then coming back was I think something that probably kind of helped him out in that particular case because yeah, a lot of people didn't really even seem to recognize him.
Okay, well, that's it. Actually interesting. I never really thought about a solution like that where someone just disappears
Yeah.
for a while and then returns. That's pretty interesting. Um, do you think your school educates students about gender identity or related issues? Does your school like teach the students about stuff like that, or is it like never talked about?
A bit. There was a short section in our health class where they just kind of were like, trans and gay people exist, and then that was kind of that. So
Wow.
yeah, it wasn't something super emphasized, but it was like, there was we had a little bit of a couple day long unit about it.
Yeah, it's pretty much similar in my experience. It was like this small mini course. They would send like people over to the school and then they would
Yeah,
do like a lecture on it, but it wasn't really serious. No one really took it serious.
yeah, and
And
for us it wasn't until like high school. So
yeah,
me as a like you know
maybe a bit too
a
late at the time.
lesbian person myself, yeah, it was very much like middle school was a little bit confusing because I didn't know what was happening because I was like, wow, maybe this is just yeah. It was. I feel
Yeah,
like it might have been nice to have the conversation a little bit earlier.
yeah, I feel you completely. Um, the school, right? Did it have any policies regarding gender identity? So, for example, right, were the teachers encouraged to use a student's preferred pronouns, or were there gender neutral bathrooms, stuff like that?
I graduated in 2019,
Yeah.
and so I think there was like I don't know if our school had any gender neutral bathroom options. I'm pretty sure it was just like male and female bathroom options and stuff. And then teachers were pretty good about using students' preferred names, but there at that point there wasn't too much about like uh, pronoun discussions happening yet.
Yeah, because it was really, I think the when the lockdown started, the COVID lockdown, that stuff really started to become a popular topic, like the pronouns.
Yeah,
I don't,
yeah, and just having that be a topic of conversation instead of
yeah,
guesses.
yeah, it's weird. I don't think like the school where I go to that the teachers right now they use the preferred pronouns of students, and there aren't any what are like the gender neutral bathrooms. So potentially
Oh
that like
yeah,
for both schools, that's something that they could look at. Because in a way, like they exclude those students, right? If someone doesn't feel
right.
comfortable
And
going
there's
to the bathroom, it's like a problem.
yeah, and I think that having that as an option too for like you know the gender neutral bathrooms I feel like are a great option. My the college that I'm at actually right now has like some good options with that.
Okay, thanks so much. Um, Well, okay, listen. So, did the school have any support system? So, was there at any point of like a guidance counselor or like a group of students that you could go to and talk to when you had a problem with your like gender identity or something in that area?
Somewhat. There was a there was a gay straight, or there was a like gender sexuality like alliance club kind of thing, and I went to it for a little bit, and like you get a lot of there's a lot of like artsy kids who are all like full of drama. So there was a little bit of just that kind of high school energy that made it a
Ah,
little bit interesting. But it was it was relatively chill of a place. But I feel like they ended up making a bit of a reputation for themselves.
why?
There was just a lot of like you get a lot of it was kind of like a theater kid group, and so you just kind of got a lot of like theater kid energy
Oh, okay.
happening
Yeah.
in it. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I
it wasn't
understand.
anything,
And in a way that can be seen as an issue, right? If it's not really like I don't know if it's exactly that, but it's like not really such a serious place, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a little bit of that to it too, where like if people who were kind of it seemed like it was more of like a club of gay kids, which is fun and all.
Yeah.
And then but yeah, then if you're in a point where it's like questioning, or maybe you've got a situation at home where you don't really want to be like out so much, there wasn't a lot of like privacy and kind of stuff like that with it.
Okay. Yeah. So in a way the school would benefit from having someone a little more serious doing tasks like this, like a real
Yeah.
guidance counselor, for example, like someone that you can actually like properly have a formal talk with.
Right.
And from what I just noticed from just general asking around and trying to learn about this topic, because it's very foreign to me. I really don't know anything about it really. It's like some students they have problems at home, so they don't talk to anyone, right?
Hmm.
And then that means that at
Yeah.
schools they don't dare to talk to anyone about it as well. So they just keep their problems in a shell, basically. Is that something that you can
Yeah.
relate to, maybe?
I know that there's different policies at different schools. I don't even remember what the policy at my school was, where it comes to like, if you tell teachers about a name, or, name or pronouns or whatever, that there's certain schools have like privacy stuff in place where you can't report it back to your parents, and other schools have policies in place where you have to report it back to the parents.
Oh,
And so that stuff gets to be, you know, kind of interesting or complicated when you have a student who's, you know,
yeah, I feel you. I
yeah,
understand. I understand.
exactly.
Okay, well, this was pretty much everything that I wanted to ask you, so I'm really grateful that you wanted to help me out with this. Um,
Yeah, of course.
yeah, it was awesome talking to you. So I'm gonna have to round it
Yeah.
off right now. So thanks for the teacher that listened to this. But this was pretty much like the purpose of this call. I wanted to know more about how you experience this stuff in school. So thank you so much.
Yeah, you bet.